I think we're on. I think we're live now. It's Monday. It's a Monday edition of the Classic Guitar Rock Daily Update. Thank you so much. Tomorrow is Time Machine Tuesday. I don't know if you're aware of that. So tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Pacific time, right? So that's 11 p.m. Eastern time. By the way, I have an email coming up about time, and it's, well, you know what? Let's go to the email first. I'm going to go to one email first before we get started because it's a great email. We've got a lot of listeners to the radio station in the UK, which is super exciting. And so Mark Wapples sent me an email, very nice email and very timely. And to be honest, something that I hadn't really thought about, and I should have. It says, "Hi, Jeremy, just to let you know, I am really enjoying classic guitar rock here in Yorkshire. Just one request. Could you give times of events in UTC as well as the two American time zones? I want to listen to the metal show, a rock genre I neglected in my youth, but cannot work out what time on Saturday morning here in England it's on." I get it. Absolutely. And I think I just blew my nose on the notes I just made for this. Okay, so here we go. I can decipher this. So the show in question is the Classic Metal Vault. Now, the Classic Metal Vault happens every Friday night at 9 p.m. Pacific. That's midnight Eastern. And then it also replays Saturday at 4 p.m. Pacific. And what's that? 7 p.m. Eastern. So in the UK, I figured this out here. So the Saturday night or the Friday night show would actually be 5 a.m. in the UK. That's not good. 5 a.m. in the UK. But the replay, the 4 p.m. Pacific on Saturday would actually be midnight in the UK. So that's a little more doable. But you know, here's the thought. Matt, we could maybe look at replaying some of these shows at times that are better for the UK. Because to be honest, we have quite a few listeners in the UK, which is wonderful. So I'm completely open to let's run it at a time, even if it means we play each show 2 or 3 times. Let's play it at a time that works better for folks in the UK. And thank you so much for bringing this to my attention. I hadn't thought about the whole thing of time zones, which I think is normal for us in the US. We think of the 4 time zones, 3 time zones, 4 time zones in the US, in the continental US. But yeah, that's completely different in the UK. So 5 a.m. would be kind of tough to check that out, but maybe midnight would work better. But here's what I'm going to do for you, Mark, is I'm going to look at some times that we can rerun some of these shows that will work better in the UK. I think that's a great idea. And I was just in the midst of plugging Time Machine Tuesday because we've got the Classic Guitar Rock Time Machine, which will air Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Pacific. That's 11 Eastern. So that would be like 4 a.m. Holy moly, that's even worse for you. So I promise you, for the Time Machine show, I'll do a replay that works better for UK. The show that you're really asking about is a Classic Metal Vault. I'll make sure we slip in a replay at a time that will work better for you, Mark. So stay tuned, and I'll get some details on that. And you know what I need to do is put something on the website with all the times too. So thank you for the email. I appreciate it so much. We got one more email, but we'll get to that later. So let's hop into the news here. David Gilmour will play his first U.S. shows in 8 years following the release of his new solo album, Luck and Strange. The album doesn't come out till September, but they've already released a single. So far, the U.S. dates will take place in El Hollywood Bowl on October 29th and 30th, Madison Square Garden on November 4th and 5th. He's already announced shows in Rome in September. Looks like the 27th, 28th, and 29th. Well, wait, how does he? Oh, that's September. I was confused. I thought he had it on the same dates as some of the other shows. October 1st, 2nd, and 3rd at Royal Albert Hall. And gosh, he's playing a few dates in Europe. This is his first album since 2015. I didn't realize it had been that long ago since Rattle That Lock. The new album's first single, The Piper's Call, was released in April. So good news that David Gilmour will be touring behind that. More touring news. Pat Benatar and Neil Giraldo kicked off their fantastic 2024 tour this past Friday at Thunder Valley Casino Resort in Lincoln, California. So they're gonna play a few dates before. They played the weekend date, and then they're actually going to wait till July. So they only did like a couple dates. They're going to wait till July and pick up the tour again. In fact, they're coming to my neck of the woods, Airway Heights, which is right outside of Spokane. I'm going to go try to go see that show. I have a problem with this though. I'm kind of disappointed, to be honest, that Pat Benatar last year said they aren't going to do Hit Me With Your Best Shot live anymore. This mamby-pamby being afraid to offend people over a song is stupid. Okay. And I'm not talking politics. I don't care about politics, but I'm not going to play Hit Me With Your Best Shot, my biggest hit, because people might be offended. If people are offended by a song like Hit Me With Your Best Shot, then they're too stupid to go to a concert. Okay. Don't cater to stupid people. That's all I'm going to say. It's a killer tune. You should be playing it. It's your biggest song. Frankly, I'm disappointed they don't play that live anymore. Just throw that out there. More live music. Sebastian Bach launched his What Do I Got to Lose North American tour on Friday. He was in Jefferson, Louisiana at the Southport Music Hall. Opened his show. He did mostly Skid Row songs, plus 2 selections from his brand new solo album, Child Within the Man, that was just released. And What Do I Got to Lose? Everybody Bleeds. Okay, those are a couple new songs off the album. What Do I Got to Lose and Everybody Bleeds are the lead off singles. And guys, from what I've heard, it sounds really good. The stuff that Sebastian, I know he's kind of a controversial figure, and we have even more news about him, but I gotta say the new music I've heard from the new album sounds really good. So good for you, Sebastian. Speaking of Sebastian, he was on with Eddie Trunk, and he seems to have renewed optimism about a reunion with Skid Row. Now, he left the band in 1996, and the band has had like 8 singers since then. Not Sebastian, though Sebastian has been wanting to come back for a while. But there seems to be some newfound optimism. Quote, I found out something at the very last Kiss show that I did not know before the very last Kiss show. And it's a major piece of miscommunication. Quote, I need to communicate with Skid Row because there's been something that happened that is not accurate. I can't tell you what it is, but the whole narrative of they don't like me and I'm too crazy is complete BS. It's not true. There's been attempts to get us going again. I can just tell the world that there's a good chance that'll happen because there's no effing reason not to. Because right now, why it hasn't happened is a miscommunication. That's all I can say. There's a miscommunication. So Eric Gronwall was the most recent singer. Eric Gronwall, by the way, I follow him on YouTube. The guy's phenomenal. For health reasons, he had to kind of step down, but super talented. Go to his YouTube channel. He doesn't just do Skid Row stuff. I mean, he's doing lots of material of lots of bands, and he's just super talented. Wish the guy well. Anyways, he left, and then Skid Row announced Lizzie Hale would be their singer for some shows. So it kind of seems like that was a logical time. If things are as rosy as Sebastian is talking, why wouldn't they have just brought him in instead of getting Lizzie help? Anyways, we'll see. Sebastian says, quote, I need to write a thoughtful email clearing up a miscommunication, but I have to make sure it's the perfect effing email and I don't say anything wrong or make any jokes. I just don't have the energy to do that right now, but I know I need to do that. I've just got a lot on my plate right now, end quote. So, I hope that works out well. If that's what Skid Row wants, if that's what Sebastian wants, why not get back together? Sebastian is a talented dude. He's a great singer. Those first few Skid Row albums are really good albums. Now, Rush fans, okay? Rush fans, there's always speculation about will Geddy and Alex ever do anything? What's the deal? People are even talking about drummers that could fill in for Neil. It's kind of crazy. Well, guys, it ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. And here's just more evidence. According to Alex Lifeson, the possibility of a Rush reunion is slim, describing the unlikely event as a money ploy. Quote, so many people remember us and there's sadness amongst our fans that it ended and they want more, but you can't go back. We can't just go and get another drummer and go out and play concerts and make new material. It just would not be the same. It would just be a money ploy. And he says that, people have been asking him, since 2015, they've been asking him, hey, when can you guys get together? What are you going to do? You got to do something. But he says he's, quote, proud of the fact that we haven't, and that was over when it was over. So they finished the tour with Neil in 2015, and that was it. And they've stuck with that. And then obviously Neil passed away in 2020. Alex continues, quote, we toured for 41 years and Neil was done. He couldn't play like he did 10 years earlier, and it was very difficult. He did not want to play even 1% less than perfect. That was understandable. And it was sad when it was over and all of that. But in retrospect, we went out on a high note, and that's the legacy of Rush. But he did say this. We decided that we would play some Rush songs, meaning he and Geddy have just gotten together recently over the last few weeks. We decided that we would get together and play some Rush songs because, we haven't played these songs in 10 years. We started that a couple of weeks ago. We get together one day a week over at his place. We just picked some Rush songs and we started playing them. And we sound like a really, really bad Rush tribute band. But he says they're doing it just for fun. He says, quote, I'm 70. It's not as easy to get my fingers to do what my brain tells me to do. They're much lazier than they used to be, and they have a poor memory. Doing this really helps a lot, and it's fun. That's it. The whole thing was that in the beginning. It was just fun. We're having a riot together doing that. There's no rhyme or reason. We're not planning on going back on the road, finding a new drummer or anything like that. It's just fun to do it, end quote. So, guys, it ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. And here's the thing no one wants to say, because we all love Geddy and we all love Alex. Geddy can't sing anymore, dude. His singing days are over. Sorry. At least singing Rush songs. He could write new songs in a lot lower, but he sounded really bad. Sorry. Rush is probably my favorite band, but Geddy's done. Okay. Someone's got to say it. Dee Snider, you love him or you hate him? I love him for this. Okay. Dee Snider didn't mince words on Saturday when he said this. Dear Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, there are bands who are going to eventually be inducted because of their huge influence. How about not waiting until the entire band is dead? He continues, the MC5 are being inducted next month. The last living member died yesterday. Rest in peace, MC5, hashtag that sucks. And we talked about Dennis Thompson, the drummer from MC5, passing away last week. D is exactly right. Chris Squire in Yes. They induct Yes like a year after Chris Squire dies. Okay? They should have been inducted 20 years earlier. But the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, flaming jerk nozzles, steaming pile of poop that they are. They can't get their crap together first of all, they induct people who have no business being in there. Then when they do finally get around to inducting the right people, they wait till they're all dead. The Cars weren't inducted until Ben Orr had died. Well, that's a little different. Ben Orr was a lot younger when he died. I shouldn't use that as an example, but I can use Yes as the perfect example, right? It's a joke. Don't get me started. All right, one more email. Again, I mentioned Mark's email. I'm going to do a better job about posting the times for the programs on the radio station. Thank you, Mark, for that. But I got another email. I got an email with a link on YouTube. This is an email from Ricardo Lasala, who's the vocalist in a band called Play Dead. And they have a song called Under the Moonlight. I can't put the link here as I'm talking to you, but if you go to YouTube and put in Under the Moonlight by Play Dead, you'll probably find it. But Ricardo Lasala is the singer. So if you want to check that out, check it out. It's pretty groovy video. I wouldn't call it, it's a little different from normal classic rock fare, but I really liked it. Great bass playing on it. It's an interesting video. Go check it out. The song is called Under the Moonlight. The band is Play Dead. And Ricardo, thank you so much for sending us the email and the link to that. Guys, thanks so much for your support. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Thank you for following us on X, on Facebook, on YouTube. Please take a minute. Again, 40 hours is all I ask. Listen to the radio station for 40 hours this week. That'd be great. I'm teasing, of course. But thank you so much for tuning in. We'll do it all again next time. Live long and prosper.